So those emotions that you just talked about, I think I had a little bit of every single one. I was super excited to go, but a little nervous of what it was going to be like. I had lived there younger as a child in France, so I knew kind of their culture. I knew what the cities were going to be like and how they would react, but I didn't know like how it would be being a missionary in that country because I had never done that before. So I was nervous, I was excited, but I didn't want to go home necessarily. I just wanted to get out there. I was a little scared to like talk to foreign people that I didn't know how they'd react to what I was bringing them. So it was a bit of excitement and nervousness combined, but like it wasn't too bad. So for me it was a little bit different, whereas when I arrived at the airport in Paris at Charles de Gaulle, the president and the APs weren't there to come get me. Because I was Chinese speaking, I was a week late. I was a week late into the transfer. So they were doing a zone conference up in Belgium, I think, in Brussels, if I remember correctly. So I remember landing there and expecting like someone to be there to come get me. I step out of the plane, nobody's there. I was like, okay, this is a little weird. It's like, I swear there was supposed to be someone here. They told me there'd be someone here to come pick me up. So I waited for about 15-20 minutes, and I was like, maybe I'm supposed to go somewhere. So I walked around, started walking around the airport for about 15-20 minutes, and then I came back, and I was like, nobody's here to get me. So I just waited for another 10 minutes or so, and then I see my trainer running up, and he's like, hey, are you Elder Caudle? I'm like, yeah, that's me. So my trainer and a member of the church came and got me at the airport, which was a little different. They were 45 minutes late. I didn't get to go to the mission home. But as soon as I arrived, we just went home. I put my stuff down. We planned for the day, planned for the transfer, and then went out and worked. Went out contacting, had some dinner, contacted some more, and went back home. Planned for the next day, and then... So it was literally like, as soon as I got to the field, there was no break. There was no like, okay, meet the mission president, meet his wife. Okay, you're going to have this little training. You're going to meet your trainer in this cool little meeting. But it was literally like, okay, just thrown into it, sink or swim, see how you do. So it was really interesting for me. So like for me that was like normal, but I didn't realize how like different that was compared to every other missionary story.
Yeah.
So like I said, we just went, he picked me up, rode the metro back into Paris. So I didn't even know where I was going to serve, but obviously it was Paris. No one told me. But I went to Paris, dropped my bags off, sat down. He's like, okay, Elder Caudle, my trainer, Elder Valak. I was like, okay, Elder Caudle, this is what we got today. We got these 2 lessons. And then we got a couple hours of contacting. The president said to take it a little bit easy, but how do you feel? And I was like, I feel great. Let's go work. He's like, all right, then we won't take it easy. Let's get things done. So we sat down, just planned out the day, walked through it. So I wrote down my planner. And he's like, okay, Elder Caudle, we have these transfer goals. So before we leave and before we get started, before we even start you working in the mission, let's get your goals written down. Let's see what we want to do as a companionship and what we want to see in our area. So we did that, wrote those down. As soon as that was done, we headed to Chinatown, started contacting, which was just, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to talk to people in Chinese now, which I was not ready for. But it was a good experience. I remember the first couple contacts, I scared the people because I was so nervous. With Chinese people, you have to be really like calm and really soft with them. Whereas French people, it's like completely different. You have to be like stern, you have to be like brave, you have to feel confident. Whereas Chinese people have to be like, okay, how are you? Me and my companion were here in France for 2 years. We just want to share a message with you that brings us a lot of happiness. Just to be really smooth. But I was like, hey, do you speak Chinese by chance? And they're like, oh, and just like took off. So I didn't feel too confident about that after the first day, but after a little while, it got a lot better. So when I was in the MTC, I had 2 teachers that were Taiwanese. They were both from Taiwan natively. So I already, from the MTC, had a feeling of what they were like. That they're just a really great people. Just like really open to see other people's perspectives, but also they're very intelligent people. They won't just believe you because you say it, but they'll actually like try and figure it out and do what you tell them to do in order to find an answer. So I really appreciated their sincerity and their like humility to go and do things, which was really impressive. So I really think that they're like great. They're awesome people. So of my first week, what I clearly remember is just the first day. Everything else is like a blur in that week, to be honest. It was actually just as hard that I thought it would be. I was like, it's going to be hard, but it's also going to be something entertaining and fun. So it was just something that I was expecting, and it was like what I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be too easy, but I don't want it to be too hard. But it was really my first transfer in Paris. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people say like the first 2 transfers are like hard, but I think the first 2 transfers that I spent in Paris in my mission were probably 2 of the best, which was probably really helpful. Because right after my second transfer, my trainer left. So just the fact to have those really good 2 transfers, be like, oh, this is awesome, mission works great, and then third transfer to have like a little harder, be like, okay, well, the mission can be good. It can be fun, it can be exciting, it can be more enjoyable. But I really enjoyed my first 2 transfers for sure.